Hello and welcome back to another multiplayer battle. Today we're looking at a rematch between Indie Pride, Ares with me and Tokshin over here. Now we're playing the dwarves and they're playing the orcs. We're looking at a largely orc-based army. If you want to look at my build, I'll have it formatted down below in my video description. We're looking at black orcs, orc boys. Back here we have Wurzag, a very effective and powerful lord. He's really no joke at all. He's got a lot of powerful debuffs, a lot of powerful buffs. And he's just really a very powerful addition to the orc armies. Potentially one of my favorite heroes now. The Crimson Killers are over here, 45 in number total. Someone had a lower unit size, and that's why we have a lower unit size overall. We have the Ragnarok Queen, who can spawn in spider hatchlings. If we go look at Ares' army over here, we're looking at orc boys on the front lines as fodder to tingle us all up. We're looking at nasty skulkers from behind who have armor piercing and stalk. Back here we have black orcs, and that is what they largely have. Tokshin brought in a gyrocopter. To let you know, at the very end, my internet went out and disconnected. Tokshin sent me his replay. The only difference being that I'm actually Clan Engrun over here, and he's playing on the left flank over here. But I can commentate as normal because really nothing has changed other than the colors of what we have here. Alright. Let's go ahead and let it play for now. We're going to watch a very important fight that's going to happen over here. We're looking at Night Goblin archers, and Tokshin's moving in with his gyrocopter, which was meant to be a scouting unit. That was the overall plan. So only scout, but we're in the trees now. Let's go ahead and check it out real quick. And he's using bombs on the Night Goblin archers. If you look at that, immediately they begin to waver. Again, more bombs, and they're freaking out. They're shaken already. A very cheap gyrocopter group taking on two archer groups in the woods, driving them out, shooting them. 33 kills, and that only took a few bombs. He's chasing one group off the map. They're like, what, 500 gold? That's a lot of gold gone in the very beginning. They're meant to debuff and take you on, but here he's going right now, just bombing them, shooting them. Let's go find out if he's going to move again. Okay, he's shooting normally. And they're beginning to waver again. They're taking a little bit of damage, but they're very effective at what they're doing. And then we'll go look at my line on the right flank. I'm moving into the woods if you look at the mini-map down here. But we're watching him just get his kills on. Alright, let's move over here now before things get too crazy. In the corner, they had all of their squigs. Whoa, they had a lot more than I thought. Yeah, I had no clue these were here. Nasty skulkers were looking at squigs. They were all here waiting for me. They were about to unleash hell. That caught me off guard for sure. I'm moving into the woods now. I saw them charging in and I thought I could avoid enemy artillery fire. If we go look way over here, we can look at a Night Goblin war boss. We've got a Doom Diver catapult and then a Hammer of Gork, which is why I wanted to move into the woods to potentially avoid that fire. I'm beginning to line up in the trees. I've got my Warriors of Dragonfire Pass. I've got my Dwarf Warriors. Again, I'm bringing a Rune Lord, one of my favorite heroes in the game by far. He's so powerful at buffing up his own men. Okay, or dwarves. And then we have King Lun Iron Hammer. He's got 80% off of physical damage, and that's why he's very powerful, but magic damage will destroy him. His health is not that high. If you look at that, 1800, not that high. Okay. Tokshin's over here, still taking out that Night Goblin group. They're going to waver and break away. They're not going to be here for much longer. He's still going for it, fighting them in a normal conventional battle. Still holding on. And he's shooting at the Ragnarok Queen. Right now, we're looking at Indie Pride charging right into me. I'm using my range to shoot into his orc boys. I'm over here throwing my satchels. Hitting orc boys again. I've got King Lun out there to help hold the line whenever they do encounter me. Let's go and look at it in cinematic view for just a brief moment, just to have that cool view. There we go, more satchels again, doing a huge amount of damage. Now, let's go check out what's happening. They're now bringing in all the squigs. They charged at me from behind immediately. And I was like, oh man, but look at that. I used a Master Rune that gave me 30 more armor. That is an incredible amount. That is going to mitigate a lot of damage, especially when they're charging at me. I've got my Peak Gate Guard. They're very powerful. They can sunder armor. They can weaken armor. They've got damage dealing. They're armor piercing and armored. They're not cheap. But Tokshin was like, they're pretty good. I was like, you know what? Okay, I'll use them. Let's go back over here. He didn't get rid of that Night Goblin group quite yet, but he began to move away to go after artillery. 41 kills. Again, only meant to scout, but ends up doing a lot of damage. And Tokshin is still over here on the left flank. He actually moves in a few warriors to come help me out. We're looking at dwarf warriors coming in. Very cheap units, but they can be very effective. Peak Gate Guard, we got the Grumbling Guard coming in, and he's coming in to flank these squigs who are fighting me right now. Now, I did bring in great warriors, or great weapon quarrelers, for a reason. I wanted to make sure that they could at least fight a little bit in melee. If you look over here, I'm beginning to make a Orc Boys group run away. We're looking at my dwarf warriors fighting. I've got another friend that I brought, Halkenhoff Stonebeard. He's fighting too. I brought in 2 of them. 2 Thane, like, he's diving right in. Alright, let's make sure that we've got everything covered right now. The spider is a little bit of a threat, not getting a lot of kills yet. I definitely want to shoot at it. They used the wah to increase their melee attack. We're still attacking right now. They came directly at me, which is interesting. The flanking from behind was okay, but to be quite honest, here's what I would have done. First off, quarrelers shooting in the woods would not get a lot of kills. If I'm fighting them on the lines here, I'm not going to be able to get a lot of kills. What could be done, maybe using one squig group to entangle me, right? But then you use the remainder of your squigs to hit me from behind, to flank me more. Skulker's dead, and they're going to do some big damage. I have long beards over here holding. I've got over here my iron breakers. I probably wouldn't have gone after my more powerful side. I mean, my other side was definitely by Tokshin, which means that I would have been able to more easily defend. But the fight for Tokshin's side hasn't even begun yet. We're using our artillery to go after him now, hitting black orcs and weakening them. We're going to be able to go after artillery eventually. 41 kills over here. Let's go check it out. And it's a very short battle. I mean, that's why I gotta show you in slow motion what's happening, because it won't be here for very long. We're looking at Wurzag. He actually did a lot of damage to King Lun, but I had a potion, so I was able to heal him up, which is what I did use. Otherwise, I mean, he was pretty beat up. It was pretty bad. My Rune Lord is moving back. I'm making sure that he's not being targeted. He could easily be targeted, but he's very strong, very durable. He's a Dwarf Rune Lord. He's not going to do poorly. Tokshin's over here still moving in, going after the mini squig herds, which is working out. We'll go into the normal speeds right now. You can tell that I'm moving in. I'm moving in my Rune Lord. I'm trying to hold. A group might break. I'm using stand your ground. A Master Rune of Negation to get rid of 44% of damage that I'm taking. Squig herds will break quickly. They're not going to be there forever. Wurzag is definitely beating me up. I've got my Warriors of Dragonfire Pass really being beaten up. They're not meant to take on that many enemies right now. They're just not meant for that. We got some artillery firing into the bulk of black orcs. They're way too bunched up. Their lines were stretched out, but now they're just way too bunched up. They're not going to be able to get past. Longbeards are over here. We got nasty skulkers who are beginning to rout. They have Irrigo as a spell to try to help them out. We got some warriors back here. They're not able to really get ahead. Let's go ahead and check on Tokshin's side real quick. If you look at it, we're losing on a balance of power. That's really incredible. But now they're about to clash over here to fight Tokshin. Tokshin brought in miners. I'm never a miner bringer, but he definitely brings them in. We're looking at the Master Rune of Negation and the Master Rune of Oath and Steel. Potentially used a little bit too soon, but they're here because, I mean, they're not in melee combat quite yet. We got a Goblin Big Boss over here too coming in, Spider of the Bad Moon. Again, the buffs potentially being used way too soon. Back here, we've got the Hammer of Gork, 24 kills only at our current point, which is pretty low. 53 kills over here, so the Gyrocopter was fighting even more. Now it's moving over here to go after artillery, which will definitely be great. The Doom Diver has not gotten a lot of kills. We got a Spider Queen for some reason in the woods far away, and over here, Squig Hoppers that are still hidden, but not trying to hit the line yet. They're all clashing. He has an area completely locked down. If you look at that completely locked down, the only way to get past would be to potentially go through here, but he would be able to respond to that immediately. So they're coming right through here where he's able to just put up his dwarf shield and hold, and they're all bunched up, which definitely works to the advantage of dwarves because, I mean, they will grind you down and you won't be able to get very far. My line's a little bit more shaky where I'm being hit at various points. He did send in help, which was great for me. There's a lot of squigs coming in, a lot of squigs, and we're looking at my Hulk and Half Stonebeard holding them out here. Taking a lot of damage, but they're being held back. Here's my Rune Lord. We're now fighting Wurzag, who is not looking that great right now. He's using his spells, and my Rune Lord's taking some damage, sure, but I'm being able to move in, or I will be able to momentarily. The Crimson Killers are pretty tough. Skulkers are still hitting me, but let's go ahead and look at what we can do. And Tokshin had his Rangers over here. They weren't really that useful. He had a few units. I mean, the Squigs were being fought back, which is good, but they weren't really that useful. They didn't get a lot of kills. I'm hoping that maybe they just killed a lot more of them. Okay, but we are getting rid of Alright, so here's like a really good thing that you can do. If you bunch up a lot of units on one lord, like a very durable lord, like Hulk and Half, Stonebeard, you can use artillery to shoot the bunched up units. You might hit them once or twice, but you're going to get a lot more kills. Okay, over here, let's go check out what's going on. We're looking at Itchy Nuisance, a debuff, but we have Stand Your Ground, so at least they're able to defend for the moment. If you look at them right now, they are all grouped up. They are all grouped up. And dwarves are going to have a much better time in an all grouped up scenario where that is going on. They're just going to have a much better day. Let's go look over here. We've got our Grudge, or our Goblobber, still attacking. We've got more range shooting at them. Cannon, which did not get a lot of kills yet. Another Goblobber. My Goblobber over here has 51 kills. I'm firing on my own side, trying to hit these Black Orcs, which has worked out pretty well. My Iron Breakers were able to get a few kills. They took a lot of damage. We're breaking the flanking attack that they had going on. That banner for Warzag, when he uses a spell, always looks like he's about to rout. Tricks me every time. Okay, I'm now moving in with a few Slayers, or that's actually Tokshin. He's moving in with a few Slayers. Again, I have to remember I'm actually the blue. And here they come now. Let's go ahead and let it play out. I think I've gone over a lot of the information. If we look in the back, that gyrocopter's dancing around. Maybe he forgot about it. He had to micromanage a big battle, so he probably forgot about it for a brief moment. Over here is where I'm beginning to clean them up. I told you, things can look bad, but I'm going to hold. Why? I've got a Rune Lord. I'm going to buff up everyone around me. And now I have the Peak Gate Guard coming in. I'm trying to target that Queen. I think I eventually have my Corlers targeted, trying to shoot it down. I think they're trying to go after my Rune Lord. Yeah, you never want to just try to go after a Rune Lord. They're way too durable. If you could do it, sure, but at the cost of actually defeating my army first, you're not going to get very far. 24 kills over here for King Lon. He took a lot of damage potentially from magic. We're looking at a bunch of routing. If you look over here right now, the Orc player was all grouped up, completely grouped up, and was unable to get past. He was unable to flank, too. We got Spider Hatchlings now coming at the cannon, which I did not know about until just now. Over here we have the Gyrocopter fighting again, going after the Hammer of Gork. There we go. Now we're going after the Queen in the woods. I'm shooting at the Queen. The Queen is being destroyed, killed right now. Warzag is broken. He took a lot of damage. I had my 2 ethereal units go after him, and he took a lot of damage, and now he's fleeing. So I've broken up the player over here on the right flank. I'm now coming over here to help out Tokshin on the left flank. I remember going, hey, how's your battle going? He's like, yeah. And I was like, okay, sure, I'm coming. But now we have artillery shooting in here. When you have a Goblobber shooting in, diminishing their leadership, you're going to have a pretty good day. Itchy Nuisance is okay. I probably would have used something a little bit different. We have Skulkers coming in. Miners are now going to go fight them. It was a pretty close fight. I'm still having to fight a few things, but I'm beginning to move my entire army to come help out Tokshin over again on the left flank. Let's go check it out real quick. Whoa. What a fight. They're going for it now. But I feel like he was completely blocked off from his ally. He wasn't able to help him like Tokshin was able to send a little bit of help to me. And an all-frontal attack was very curious. I mean, the flanking definitely caught me off guard, and I wasn't prepared for that. I didn't know that they would throw them all into one corner. If I brought a gyrocopter and I scouted, then that would have been a different story. If you look at it now, we're looking at a Rune of Wrath and Ruin from me as I begin to move in my own Rune Lord. My goal was to move him in immediately. That way I could use my runes to buff up his army. Things were a little bit touch and go. The Spider's coming over here now to help out. 72 kills, quite a few, 82. Yeah, the Spider Queens are very powerful. The Ragnarok Queens are very powerful. There's miners down here. We're still shooting them. You're looking at my army moving in now. And here comes my Rune Lord. Again, I wanted him to finally come over here to buff things up, to hold his army. Because right now, his melee line is not doing well. He's got very few units, and they're holding. I don't even know how they're holding right now. Look at that. They're holding. I know that we're using Stand Your Ground and other abilities, but man, that is a close one. I'm trying to target the Spider Queen over here now, trying to destroy it. The Gyrocopter's back into combat, attacking again. 85 kills. That's really great. A Gyrocopter is very cheap, so for it to do that well is really fantastic. He utilized that quite well. Okay, we got a few miners. They're actually beginning to break now if you look at it. They're beginning to fall apart. Even though Tokshin's melee line was pretty much done for, I had to rush in quickly, moving in everything that I had. My rangers shooting in, or my quarrelers, not my rangers. We got more orc boys coming in from behind. I've got my dwarf warriors coming back to help out. We're looking at a few black orcs moving in, but they're all falling apart now. They lost the battle. The battle's over and we won it. It was a really close one in a way, but we had it under control. Okay, let's go look at it real quick for Tokshin. His Rune Lord, no kills at all. I mean, he's meant to be there for support, but no kills at all. We're looking at a Goblobber, 245. They were way too bunched up, and a Grudge Thrower is so effective at taking out infantry now. And his Gyrocopter, 98 kills. He did a lot of damage. That was great help. Had he had 2 Night Goblin Archers, had he had that artillery continuing to hit him, it probably would have been a different story. We're looking at miners who took a lot of damage. Dwarf Warriors who took a lot of damage. Everything, a lot of damage. Slayers are still around. We're looking at range that is still around. Very high health. Peak Gate Guard. His Grumblers very well in health. I'm looking at mine now. I also got no kills at all. I had to just buff things up. I was moving him around using runes constantly. I'm guessing that my Rune of Wrath and Ruin doesn't count kills. I would have thought that he would have gotten some kills. Okay, over here we have Dwarf Warriors again. We're looking at Iron Breakers that I brought in. 85 kills from my Norgrimling Iron Breakers. We're looking at 29 for my Peak Gate Guard. They took a lot of damage. My Quarrelers were able to hold on. Not a lot of kills. Like I told you, they actually weren't the big threat. Going after my melee would have been much better. In the woods, they're not going to get a lot of kills, and they did not. So that was actually a good distraction for that. I'm looking at my Goblobber, only 64 kills, not as many. King Lund, 34, 16 for Halkenhoff. I fought a lot of Black Orcs, though. At a smaller unit size, so to even have a lot of kills is a bigger deal. Let's go look over here for Ares. Okay, Crooked Moon Tribe, 32 for the Night Goblin War Boss. He just kind of mashed in, which did not work out. Black Orcs did a lot of damage. The Queen, 95 kills, 45 for the Hammer of Gork. The Squig Hoppers did a lot of damage too on that flank. I wonder if they also came after me. They might have, because there were a lot. I'm not too sure. No, I think they were back on their side. Wurzak, 37 kills. We're looking at 16 for the Crimson Killers. Not a lot. 45. Yeah, the Squig Hoppers did a majority of the damage. The Artillery, too. The Spider Queen and the Doom Diver doing a majority of the damage. The rest was rather mitigated, but that one Black Orc group. And that was about it. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope that you did enjoy it. More battles will be coming every day. Don't forget to leave a like down below. It does support my channel and me. And don't forget to provide a comment. Let me know what you think about the battle. And I enjoy seeing your own comments, and I do read them. So until then.